now, and once again, I just gotta tell yeah, I've been getting pretty good feedback from the YouTube clips, so I think I'm gonna keep doing that, and people seem to like that, and they're getting a hold of me and they're sending me messages, and like I said, that's where that retraction came from earlier in the show tonight. I was wrong, and Doc Atomics was right, so I stand corrected. Yeah, and also I just wanted to say, in the chat room right now, right before I went into that break, there, there's this Angel 1969-1, Angel 19691 in the chat room, and I'm not quite sure. This person, let me just put it that way. This person brought up a very intriguing point. Uh, this person seems to know some weird stuff, but anyway, Angel drops by the chat room, and like the first post is a doozy. Yeah, it says recent sacrifices at Bohemian Grove, reportedly done by entities resembling insectoids. Any thoughts on this? Uh, yeah, like I said, I mean, I love studying this stuff. I think it's fucking fascinating. But honestly, I've never seen an insectoid. So it's like, you know, I have had a weird, I had a weird experience of missing time one time. Um, where and the thing that makes it even more concrete to me is I was with two of my buddies at the time, and all of us we lost like about an hour and a half of time. I It's a long story. I don't even. Yeah, I'll get into it some other night, but yeah, it's if you guys remember Friday's show, Tony was my special guest. He was there, so he can vouch for. Yeah, it was definitely a very strange experience. I'll talk more about that later because we were talking right now about these insectoids. And yeah, I mean, I've heard that like eh, I was talking about multi-dimensional beings and beings that are outside of our third dimensional realm. And that's what I've heard. I've heard that these insectoids have somehow figured out a way to live in either the fourth dimension or the fifth. And that's another thing as well. Yeah, I heard also the reptoids or the reptilians actually exist in the fourth dimension. And that's why we don't really necessarily want to go. We don't necessarily want to ascend to the fourth dimension because that's reptoid territory. We want to ascend right to the fifth dimension. But that might explain why all these reptoid stories are becoming popular now and everybody's talking about the reptoids and blah, 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 and whatnot. Because we have begun this ascension process back into the fifth dimension. Make up your own mind. I think this stuff's fascinating and I just study it and I just wanted to bring it out to you guys. But yeah, Angel, I definitely wanted to thank you for dropping by tonight. You made some really good points. Yeah, Angel goes on to talk about ley lines. Yeah, very interesting. I agree. Uh, yeah, Angel goes on to talk about ETs entering our third dimension through perhaps a process of an ancient harp machine. Uh, you guys, I'm just assuming about 90% of you know what harp is. It's that weird antenna ensemble they got going up there in Alaska. And look, yeah, I mean, I just recommend look it up for yourself. I don't. If I try to describe it, I'm gonna f it up again, and then Doc Atomics is gonna jump my ass. No, no, but seriously, check it out. It's capital HAARP, and it's been claimed that yeah, this stuff was actually inspired by Nikola Tesla technology. But once again, Angel, just want to thank you for dropping by the chat room tonight. I appreciate it. I love the feedback. I always love feedback, negative, positive, whatever. You take the time out to write me a fucking letter, man. Just I'll get back with you. You know, so. And once again, yeah, Doc Atomics, I want to apologize. Shoot, I was planning on reading your thing on the show tonight because you can describe it like better than I could. So, but I deleted it on accident. So, oh well. I think I described it okay. But anyway, all right. Let's get back into this stuff. Okay. Esoteric orders, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, let's see. Where were we? Okay, I was talking about the three great. Yeah, okay. This is the mythology they teach you when you join a mystery school. I'm not saying this is the honest to God's truth or it was revealed to me by God or anything like that. But this is just mythology that is taught in the mystery schools. Okay. It is said that Atlantis was destroyed by three great earthquakes or seismic disturbances. And these seismic disturbances are known in occult circles as the three great cataclysms. So, an immigration went forth before each of these cataclysms. And, yeah, I already covered that. All right, yeah, and they brought. Okay, yeah, and this is what I think where I left you off. And they brought with them initiates or aspirants. That's another name for people who are involved in mystery schools, secret societies, esoteric orders, whatever you want to call it. These initiates were far enough along in their development and knowledge to create new lodges or mystery schools. So, these occultists, they think we go through. No, this is where I left you off. Three main natural cycles. First, man goes through a period of power, where he's just blindly trying to wield power. Gain power over the elements, over other men, that type of thing. Women as well. And then that's followed by a period of wisdom, where mankind just starts to seek wisdom, and once you have the crops planted and all your enemies have been dispatched or co-opted, if you will, there's peace. That's when you start studying and absorbing knowledge, and you have spare time in your hands, so you actually have time to read books and that type of thing. That's when the wisdom comes in. And then after that, mankind goes through a period of love, or brotherly love. And that's supposed to be like the culmination of these three cycles. Okay, so these guys think that human culture goes through a cycle during which power is being built up. And then it's succeeded by another in which wisdom is being built up. And like I said, this culminates. Oh man, how do I get back up? Shoot. Okay, this culminates, blah blah blah. Where was I? Yeah, okay, here we go. Okay. So this culminates in a final phase where brotherly love brings in a golden age. I think another, I guess that's called, yeah, the Greeks had different names for different kinds of loves. There was fraternal love, which is brotherly love. And then there was unconditional love, which is called agape. And, yeah, and then I think like sexual type love or love between a man and a woman or whatever is called eros or erotic love or something like that. But anyway, so this brotherly love is supposed to bring in a golden age. And like I mentioned earlier, there was a great sun temple in Atlantis, which of course does not exist today, if it existed back then. But after the great cataclysms, the three great cataclysms, Atlantis sinks to the ocean floor of the Atlantic Ocean. You guys remember the comic book Atlantis? Man from Atlantis. Remember that TV show with Patrick Duffy? Had webbed fingers and toes. Okay, now, however, the teaching is still preserved by the three great occult traditions. Even though the Temple of the Sun was destroyed along with Atlantis, its teaching is still preserved by the three great occult traditions. So I'm going to check the switchboard here real fast. Just want to make sure I'm not missing any callers. Okay, cool. Not. All right, awesome. Let's see here. Let me get rid of this thingy here then. And, all right. So, these three great traditions in which the Temple of the Sun was preserved came from the three great immigrations from Atlantis. And this was at the time of the three great cataclysms. If you remember, there were like three great seismic disturbances or earthquakes that sort of started leading to all this stuff. Ultimately, Atlantis is destroyed, of course. And the first immigration, they operate and were driven by the accumulation of power. That was the drive behind these guys, the accumulation of power, the wielding of power. It is said that this first immigration moved eastward, and they halted each year to sow and reap a wheat harvest. And they built temporary altars that they moved across the north of Europe and Asia. These were the megalithic people, the people that built these gigantic stone things that we now think are so mysterious. These are the guys, I'm assuming, these are the guys I think that they're trying to say that built Stonehenge and all that kind of thing. So, these guys continue eastward, and then their progress across northern Europe and northern Asia. And their progress was blocked by what we now call the Yellow Sea. And so then they moved southward along the coastlands of Asia. And they finally contacted the remains of the Lemurian culture. The Lemurian culture was another high type culture. Sort of existed with Atlantis, but sometimes peaceful, sometimes not peaceful. They were two superpowers, if you will. It's from the remnant of this Lemurian culture that this first immigration derived some elements, which render it today a very dangerous and polluted current in the world of occult and the study of magic and whatnot. It is this first immigration tradition which is the basis for all primitive cults, like Jujuism. Have you heard this? Like Juju, that kind of thing. Like voodoo, that kind of thing too. Fanteism and primitive magic. Shamanism, that type of thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to take another quick break. And once again, I just want to thank you for your patience tonight and bearing with me with all the technical difficulties. And I'll be back right after this.